In this video, I'm going to go over everything I did to create the Hat Man from my previous short. I had originally intended to actually do this as a real-time video rather than speeding it up and editing, but that would have been over 4 hours long, and I don't think any of you would have sat through that. As you might notice, I am starting from a base mesh, namely the Base Human collection that Blender offers you to download for free off of their website. Specifically the Realistic Human and the mouth parts from the Realistic collection. But before I actually started sculpting on that, I duplicated it to keep a lower poly version to set up to do some normal mapping, but that didn't work. But we'll go over that a bit more when we get to it. When sculpting, I primarily used the two crease brushes and the smooth brush, mostly to add more definition to the musculature in a probably not fully anatomically correct sense. I was drawing more from Baki the Grappler than actual anatomy references. I'm pretty sure I even gave him a demon back, or at least something close to it. I'm still trying to find that happy balance between not so undetailed that it looks like a wax mannequin, and not too detailed that it looks like a extremely buff old man. But, finding the midpoints there is weirdly tricky for me. Also, doesn't really help that I just kind of like to make unsettling monster creatures, because it's a little easier to get away with imperfections in them than it is people. Speaking of unsettling though, you still have a few days at the time of this video to submit your submission for the Unsettling Community Art Showcase Challenge. If you want to take part in that, make something with the prompt of unsettling and post it to the channel Discord by the end of the 31st. Also, while we're on the topic of channel things, would you guys like to see me do more of these breaking down what I did to make an animation videos? Alternatively, would you like me to just randomly start streaming when I'm working on projects that take forever like this one did? Although if I were to do streams like that, I would have to have my microphone off during them, because there'd be no guarantee if I wasn't randomly called to do something or what have you. You could also just let me know what you'd like to see more of in general, too. Anyway, on to the thing that didn't end up working. I had intended to use my much higher poly count sculpted model as a normal map for the much lower poly duplicate I mentioned I made at the start, but for whatever reason, it would not work correctly and would not map correctly no matter how much I finagled it. I was probably doing something wrong, but I haven't managed to figure out what yet. So after well over an hour and a half of trying to get it to work and it not, I ended up having to scrap it, and I reverted the save back to before I applied the multi-resolution modifier. And then I got rid of the duplicate because if I couldn't get the normal map to work, I didn't need the duplicate anymore. After I eventually gave up on the normal mapping, I made his pants. The original intention was to have the pants be a part of the main model, but that didn't work with the multi-resolution modifier that well, so I ended up just duplicating the part of his body that I was going to make the pants out of and just making that a different object, and then I made it slightly bigger and slapped a solidify modifier on it. After I made his pants, I started working on his hair, firstly by using weight painting on a vertex group to determine where the hair was going to be. Then I added a hair modifier while setting that vertex group to be the density control, which means the hair only emits from that vertex group. However, something I just figured out recently about how hair works in Blender is that while the hair particle settings give you little sliders to determine the thickness of your hairs, that doesn't actually work, and it confused me for so long. But apparently, to actually make that work, you have to first go into your render settings, go down to curves, and change it from strand to strip. Why you have to do this to change the shape of your hair, I have no clue, but I finally figured that out, and now I can make individual strands of hair thicker, which means I don't have to have nearly as many strands of hair for there to be an actual volume to it. That said, I do think I could have made his hair strands a little thinner, but meh. After I did that, I started playing around with the hair particle edit and tried to make an actual hairstyle at first, and eventually I ended up with the hat-shaped abomination that turned him from some dude into the Hat Man. But once I had finished that and plopped down some basic colors to differentiate textures for later, I started working on rigging him to animate. And for that, I used the Rigify add-on, something which has made animating things using armatures so much easier. In this case, I brought in the human armature setup it comes with, and then spend a good 20 minutes aligning all the bones to where they're supposed to be, making sure they all lined up with the different parts of the meshes that I was going to be attaching them to. And once that was done, I set the scale and rotation of the armature and hit the Generate Rig button. For the main body object and the pants object, I just had to parent with automatic weights, and it worked perfectly fine. Rigging the eyes takes a little bit of extra work. I'm not sure if this is technically the way you're supposed to do it with Rigify, but what I do is I have each eye parented to the eye master bone, and then I have it set with a track to constraint to the eye circle of the eye direction controller thing. And that's normally pretty much what I do for rigging humans. However, this time, I added teeth and a tongue. And to quickly sum up another probably hour and a half of troubleshooting, I had to set the 2 different teeth bones of the rig to be deformative, because they weren't for some reason, erase the automatic weight painting caused by pretty much every other bone of the face, and then weight paint the actual teeth part of the mesh to be affected by the teeth bones. It sounds relatively simple, but it took a while to get working correctly. Once I finally had everything rigged up though, I did some touching up on the textures, though I really didn't have to do too much with that. For the pants, I mostly just use a very low randomness Vortellini texture and then turned the roughness up a bunch, and it made a pretty decent, like, sweatpants-y material. And then for the fleshy parts, mostly just gave everything a noise bump to make it not so smooth, gave it a bit of subsurface scattering, and turned the roughness way down so everything was a bit shiny. For the hair, I just have a noise texture into a color ramp with a couple colors on it, into the color of a principal hair shader, and that's basically it. All that was left after that was to do the animating, and I didn't record that because it was just several hours of moving bone into position in pose mode, hitting keyframe, going further in the timeline, moving bone ad nauseum. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how I did this, and maybe I helped you figure out how to do something as well. Once again, the Community Art Showcase is on the prompt of Unsettling, and you have until the end of the 31st to make your submissions. If you did enjoy, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you in the next video.